Are you an INTJ or know someone who is? This video is for you. Today, we're exploring the INTJ personality type, known for their unique blend of intellect and intuition. If you've ever wondered why INTJs behave a certain way, keep watching. We'll dive into what grinds their gears. From small talk to inefficiency, we'll uncover the top 5 annoyances that can unsettle even the most composed INTJ. You might be surprised by what makes INTJs tick. If you love our content, don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. Number 1, inefficiency and unstructured environments. If there's one thing that can really get under the skin of an INTJ, it's inefficiency. Picture this: you're an INTJ, a personality type known for your love of structure and strategic planning. Now, imagine walking into a meeting that's supposed to start at 10 a.m. sharp, but it's 10 hours and 15 minutes, and half the attendees are still trickling in. Frustrating, isn't it? For INTJs, every minute counts. They're the kind of people who map out their day with precision, often planning their tasks with careful consideration of time and resources. So, when they encounter situations where disorganization reigns supreme, it's not just a minor inconvenience, it's a major source of annoyance. Let's delve into some common scenarios. Take group projects, for instance. An INTJ thrives on clear objectives and well-defined roles. But what happens when they're stuck in a group where no one takes charge, deadlines are treated as mere suggestions, and the plan is as solid as a house of cards? It's like a symphony without a conductor, chaotic and unproductive. For an INTJ, that's practically a nightmare. Or consider a scenario in the workplace. INTJs are forward thinkers, always a few steps ahead. But when they have to deal with systems or processes that are outdated or illogical, it's like hitting a brick wall. It's not just about getting the job done, it's about doing it efficiently. So, when inefficiency slows them down, it's not just a delay, it's a roadblock to their vision of progress. And it's not just in professional settings. Imagine planning a simple outing with friends. An INTJ would have the route planned, the activities lined up, and a plan B in case of bad weather. But what happens when the group ditches the plan for a spontaneous, go-with-the-flow approach? For many, it might sound fun, but for an INTJ, it's a tidal wave of unpredictability crashing into their well-structured world. In a nutshell, inefficiency and unstructured environments are to INTJs what nails are to a chalkboard. They thrive on order, logic, and efficiency. When these elements are missing, it's not just an annoyance, it's a disturbance in their quest for a well-organized, strategically planned life. So, next time you're dealing with an INTJ, remember, a little structure goes a long way. Number 2, small talk and superficial conversations. Have you ever been stuck in a conversation about the weather for what seems like an eternity? For INTJs, this isn't just boring, it's practically agonizing. INTJs, known for their love of depth and complexity, often find small talk and superficial conversations not just unstimulating, but downright irksome. You see, INTJs crave conversations that spark their intellect. They yearn for discussions that dive deep, exploring theories, concepts, and innovative ideas. To them, a good conversation is like a treasure hunt, filled with insights and discoveries, not just idle chit-chat. But let's face it, small talk is often an inescapable part of social interactions. Picture this: an INTJ at a networking event. Around them, people are casually chatting about the latest sports game or the newest TV show. The INTJ, however, is on the lookout for that one conversation that goes beyond the surface. They're scanning the room for someone discussing the latest breakthrough in technology or a philosophical debate. But more often than not, they find themselves nodding along to conversations that barely scratch the surface. In work settings, this preference for meaningful dialogue becomes even more pronounced. In meetings, while others might start with some light banter, an INTJ wants to get straight to the point. They value efficiency and purpose, and small talk feels like a detour from the road to productivity. And it's not just in professional settings. Imagine an INTJ at a family gathering. While relatives discuss mundane topics like the weather or neighborhood gossip, the INTJ is likely tuning out, their mind wandering to more stimulating topics. They're not being rude, they're just hardwired to seek depth in conversations. So, what happens when an INTJ is subjected to prolonged small talk? Often, they become withdrawn or disengaged. It's not that they don't value social connections, they just prefer them to be meaningful and intellectually stimulating. In a world where small talk is the norm, INTJs stand out with their quest for conversations that matter. It's not that they despise pleasantries or casual chats, it's just that their idea of a fulfilling conversation involves diving into the depths, not just skimming the surface. So, the next time you're talking to an INTJ, skip the weather report and dive into something that really makes them think. You might just be surprised at how animated they become. Number 3. Emotional overreactions and drama. If there's one thing that can make an INTJ's skin crawl, it's unnecessary emotional overreactions and drama. INTJs, with their logical and analytical minds, often find themselves at odds with highly emotional situations. It's not that they don't feel emotions, they do, just like anyone else. But they prefer to process and express these emotions in a more controlled and rational manner. Imagine an INTJ in the middle of a heated argument where emotions are running high, and people are more focused on venting their feelings than finding a solution. To an INTJ, this is like being in a foreign land where they don't speak the language. They're often baffled by how quickly a rational discussion can turn into an emotional roller coaster. They value clear communication and logical reasoning, so when emotions take the driver's seat, it can be disorienting for them. In professional environments, this discomfort becomes more pronounced. INTJs are the ones who keep their cool in crises, preferring to approach problems methodically. So, when colleagues react emotionally, especially under stress, INTJs might come across as detached or unsympathetic. It's not that they don't care, they just believe that staying calm and composed is more effective than getting swept up in emotions. Even in personal relationships, INTJs often struggle with emotional overreactions. Say an INTJ is in a situation where a friend or family member is upset over something they consider trivial. The INTJ's instinct is to analyze the problem and offer a logical solution rather than simply offer emotional support or empathy. This can sometimes be misinterpreted as coldness or indifference. So, how do INTJs typically react to drama and emotional overreactions? They tend to withdraw. When the emotional temperature in the room rises, INTJs often step back, needing space to process what's happening. They might come across as aloof, but it's their way of protecting themselves from getting overwhelmed by the emotional chaos. In a world where emotional expression is often seen as the norm, INTJs navigate these waters carefully, preferring the calm of rationality over the storm of drama. They remind us that sometimes, taking a step back and approaching situations logically can be just as powerful as wearing your heart on your sleeve. As we dive into what really annoys INTJ personality types, consider channeling your insights into a profitable YouTube channel without ever showing your face. Matt Parr's free course can help you achieve this, turning your knowledge into $10,000 a month. Check the link in the description for more details. This way, you can share your understanding of personality types while creating a lucrative income stream, all from behind the scenes. Number 4. Incompetence and lack of knowledge. In the world of an INTJ, competence and knowledge aren't just preferred, they're essential. When faced with incompetence or lack of knowledge, whether in professional or personal settings, INTJs can experience a deep sense of frustration. This stems from their natural inclination towards efficiency, mastery, and understanding. Let's dive into the professional realm first. INTJs are often the ones who, after meticulously analyzing a problem, come up with an innovative solution. So, when they encounter incompetence in their workplace, be it a lack of skill, poor work ethic, or a gap in knowledge, it's like a wrench thrown into their well-oiled machine. They're not just annoyed by the immediate inefficiency, they're concerned about the long-term impact on the project or the organization's goals. In team settings, this can be particularly challenging. Imagine an INTJ working on a project where a team member consistently misses deadlines or fails to grasp key concepts. For the INTJ, this isn't just a minor setback, it's a major roadblock. They might find themselves compensating for this gap, either by taking on more work themselves or spending extra time coaching the team member, which can lead to frustration and even resentment. But it's not just about others' competence. INTJs have high expectations for themselves as well. They are lifelong learners, constantly seeking to expand their knowledge and improve their skills. This quest for self-improvement is a core part of their identity. So, when they see others who don't share this drive, especially in areas critical to success, it can be bewildering and exasperating. In personal relationships, this expectation for competence and knowledge can also create tension. INTJs value partners and friends who are informed, intelligent, and capable. They enjoy deep, thought-provoking conversations and activities that challenge their intellect. When they find themselves in relationships where this level of engagement is lacking, they can feel unfulfilled and disconnected. So, how do INTJs deal with these feelings of frustration? Typically, they may try to take charge, offering guidance or solutions to improve the situation. But this can sometimes be perceived as overbearing or critical. It's a delicate balance for INTJs, wanting to uphold their standards of competence while navigating the complexities of human capabilities and learning curves. So, for INTJs, competence and a thirst for knowledge aren't just preferences, they're fundamental to how they interact with the world. Their frustration with incompetence reflects their deep commitment to efficiency, mastery, and continual growth, both in themselves and in those around them. Number 5. Micromanagement and restrictive rules. One of the core tenets of an INTJ's personality is their profound appreciation for autonomy. Restrictive rules and micromanagement don't just irk them, they can feel like a straitjacket, stifling their creativity and independence. This is a personality type that thrives on freedom, particularly the freedom to explore, innovate, and implement their ideas without unnecessary interference. Let's talk about the workplace first, a common setting where micromanagement can rear its ugly head. Imagine an INTJ in a job where their manager is constantly looking over their shoulder, questioning every decision, and dictating how each task should be done. This is not just a minor annoyance, it's a fundamental clash with their need for autonomy. INTJs excel when they're given a goal and the freedom to figure out the best way to achieve it. Micromanagement, to them, feels like a distrust of their capabilities and a hindrance to their problem-solving process. In team projects, INTJs are often the ones coming up with innovative solutions. However, when bogged down by restrictive rules or procedures that don't make logical sense, their motivation can take a serious hit. It's like telling a bird how to fly. Not only is it unnecessary, but it also goes against their very nature. Social settings can also present challenges. INTJs are known for their structured approach to life, but this doesn't mean they appreciate external structures being imposed on them. For instance, in a social club with rigid, arbitrary rules, an INTJ might feel constrained and frustrated. They prefer environments where discussions and activities are guided by logic and reason, not arbitrary regulations. Even in personal relationships, INTJs value their independence. They are often attracted to partners who understand and respect their need for personal space and intellectual freedom. Overbearing or clingy behavior can be particularly suffocating for them. In dealing with these challenges, INTJs typically respond in one of two ways. They might try to find a logical workaround to the restrictions, or if that fails, they might withdraw their engagement altogether. It's a defense mechanism against what they perceive as an infringement on their intellectual freedom. So, for INTJs, the need for autonomy is paramount. Micromanagement and restrictive rules are not just minor irritants, they clash with their fundamental approach to life and work. They thrive in environments where their independence is respected and where they can apply their analytical and innovative minds without unnecessary constraints. In summary, INTJs find inefficiency, superficial conversations, emotional drama, incompetence, and restrictive controls particularly grating. Recognizing these annoyances is key to understanding and interacting effectively with INTJs. Appreciating their need for logical, efficient, and autonomous environments can lead to more harmonious and productive relationships. This video will be really helpful for you. Also, subscribe and hit the notification bell to avoid missing our future videos. See you in the next one.